Now joining us is John Gradek, faculty lecturer in aviation management and supply chain management at McGill University. John, always appreciate your time, and it seems we're talking a lot these days. So what does this mean for Air Canada to see this going into a third day since some planes were grounded? I heard as I was interviewing the COO, Mark Nasser, yesterday, he told me that that delay from 2 to 3 days since planes were first brought down to the ground means that they have to go through a maintenance inspection. That could mean that even if things were to resume today, it would take that much longer to get people in the air. So how much of a problem is this for Air Canada?
I saw your interview with Mr. Nasser yesterday, and I'll have to congratulate you, by the way. That was you had a lot of patience with that interview, so congrats. But back on topic in this one, Air Canada is really, the one organization that can really make this thing go away very quickly. Air Canada has been very, very low key, even with Mr. Russo, in terms of trying to understand, what is the gap that we have between what the union is looking for and what Air Canada is willing to offer. And I think there has to be a bit, if you're going to negotiate in the public domain, Mr. Russo, make sure that you are able to, in fact, provide the public with what it is that you're offering. Right now, we know what the union wants, and we don't know what Air Canada is looking for. So I think, the only way this is going to get solved, Andrew, is really the question of is get them both back at the table. Imposing it and getting, whether it's CIRB with mandatory arbitration, with binding arbitration, that this is not going to solve the problem. The union basically has got a lot of help behind it. A lot of, Canadian Labour Congress is standing up with the union. So there's a lot of union power hanging on behind the QP work stoppage. So this is only going to get resolved when both parties come back to the negotiating table. I say bring them into a table, lock the door, and I will only get you out of that room once you've hammered out an agreement. To me, that's the only way we can get this done.
Well, you said, John, that a lot of this is really in Air Canada's court, seemingly, because the union's been pretty clear what they want, Air Canada seemingly less so. I want to actually focus on one of those things with the limited time that we have left, and that has to do with this ground pay situation. And I know that because you work as having your expertise in aviation management, hopefully you can help me explain a little bit of what's going on here. There are other airlines, from my understanding, that have begun to pay more in ground pay. Is that something that Air Canada is basically having to follow suit with because it's becoming more of an industry norm?
Yeah, it is. It's a tsunami that's hitting Air Canada front and center. European carriers have been doing this for a number of years. Porter's been doing it for a couple of years. Even Ascan in eastern Quebec has been doing it. American, Delta, United, and now Alaska, have all come to terms with this ground pay issue. So Air Canada can't ignore it. It has to address it. And they say they have. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I will say that COO Mark Nasser did say definitively this has been solved. I will say that the union responded to me saying that's not true, but Air Canada has said this is resolved. It does remain to be seen if that is the case. But John, I think we're going to have to leave it there. We appreciate your time as always, John Gradek, faculty lecturer in aviation management at McGill University. Thank you, John.
My pleasure, Andrew. Have a good one.